All right, guys, so today on Guardian Approved, we are going to do another Easilok product. I know it says AI Secure, but we're going to do another Easilok install. The AI Secure, I think, is actually the body that's inside the box. So the Mortise body for a storefront glass door like this comes with it, but it's AI Secure's version. So these aren't like your standard Mortise bodies. So if you were to just put these Mortise bodies in and take your Mortise cylinder and try to use it, it's not going to work. This is made to work specifically with Easilok's system here. So they have two different sizes, the 1.125", which is standard, and then you have, which is 31/32 over here, but they're using millimeters. But anyway, so it has a 31/32 and 1.125" size, which is what we would use here in the States. There also is an 1.5" that we sometimes run across. It's pretty rare, but occasionally we run across them. So they don't have that option on here, but like I said, it's pretty rare. So it's good that they come in at least the two most popular sizes. So I haven't touched this or done anything with it yet. So let's go over here and get it installed and test it and give it a rating. All right, so let's go ahead and open this box up. Okay, so this is what comes in it. It's a little smaller than the other Easilok. On the home deadbolts, they're pretty big. These are a lot smaller. I was wondering about that because I was hoping they weren't as big as the other style, because if they were, it would look kind of clunky and bad on the front door. So a good thing for them is they shrunk it down into a Mortise style kind of size. So there are a lot of little parts here that I'm not too sure what go to what, because like I said, this is different than anything I've seen. So you do have your lock body, and you got your two cylinders and your keys. So it's not very hard, not very complex. This particular one is a hook bolt. If you notice, it has a hook. There's deadbolt, there's hook bolt, and then there's dead latch. But on these, they do either deadbolt or the hook style. So this one's the hook style, and what's in here right now is a hook style. So this is the actual replacement they need. So let's go ahead and get this out, get the instructions out, and we'll take a look at what's going on here. All right, I'm gonna set those there. Comes with 3 keys. There's a standard SE1, it looks like, or an SE4, it looks like. They're shorter, but it's an SE4. That's weird. Okay, that's the latch plate. You're not gonna need this, but if you needed to put it on that side, you could. And then we got all of their instructions and a little bag of goodies here. Mounting plate screws. So some intricate little parts there. Let's see here. So you've got your warranty card. Offers a lifetime mechanical warranty. Okay. And then contact information right there if you needed it. They have a template if you're doing a fresh install, which we're not, but if you were doing a fresh install, I'll show you here. They give you the template to do so. So basically just fold that back, drill your holes, cut that out. You have to have a jig to cut these out. We have the jig to do that, but you need about $1,100 jig that you set on the door, and you can, route it out. But it gives you that in case you need it. That's good if you don't have it. And then right here, the model A5. So this is the A5 model, okay? And here's your instructions. Half of it is in Chinese here, and then, oh, actually all of it is. Let me see. Oh, no, it's not. It's just right on top of each other. So they have English, and then I believe it's Chinese or Mandarin. Let me just get my bearings here. Okay, so here's English, part 5. So we have basically part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. Yep, part 5. Okay, so there's only 5 parts. I'm wondering if that is counting parts of fresh install and cutting it out too. Let's see here real quick. The following tools are required. Damage, 30 to 50 minutes. So you just need a screwdriver. To begin the installation of an Easilok product, prepare your door and frame for the Mortise lock, as shown in picture 1. Okay, so picture 1, right here. Okay, well, first things first is I'm gonna need to get all this out. So let me get this out. Let me put their body in, and then we'll be right at basically step 2 at that point. So grab this. Okay. And now I'm gonna need to loosen the set screws. Okay, there's the mortise cylinders. And then next will be just taking these two screws out to pull the body out. And that's it, there's your body. I'm gonna take these two screws, set that body aside. All right, here's the new body. Yeah, the interiors of this are very different than your standard storefront aluminum glass body like this. So this is very proprietary to their products. So they did some re-engineering on this. Pretty interesting. Let's see how it functions though. So I got that. Let me just take these screws out of the faceplate here. There we go. Still got your traditional set screws. So I'm gonna mount, let me try not to get ahead of the instructions here too much. Let's see here. Confirm the back set of the mortise lock to ensure that you have the right fit. Basically what you need to do is measure from the edge of the door to the center of the keyhole, and that gives you the back set, which is either 1 1/8" or 31/32", or sometimes in a rare case 1 1/2". In this case, this is 1 1/8" because it's standard. And that's the one we have, 1 1/8". So after you do that, it says, as you begin installing the mortise, confirm the bolt didn't get thrown out prior to installation. So the bolt needs to be in. Okay. Find the trapezoidal hole of the transmission toggler and the spindle transmission shaft. Okay, that's talking about the new little, these pieces in here. So it said find the trapezoidal hole, which is right there, I see it, and of the transmission toggler and the spindle transmission shaft. Picture 2. Okay, so the transmission shaft is in this bag over here. And that was the right one, I think. It shows a picture, so I'm just following the picture of what it says. So in the picture, right here, I'll bring it up for you, in the instructions. Find the trapezoidal hole, which we did, which is in the body, just showing that this was what it fits into. And then it says in picture 2, picture 3 and picture 2 right there, it shows you picture 2 of this, right? And then picture 3 is right there. So it's telling you where to put it in. Insert the hole of the transmission toggler. Okay, so that's gonna have to go in the body once I get it in the door. So let me just get this in the door real quick. 2 screws, fairly easy. I'll just use my manual screwdriver for this. There we go. Come on. You know what, this body is almost a little too wide to fit in the door because they punched out this little piece right here and it bent it out a little bit. So there's an issue right there. Wow. Yeah, I'm literally not gonna be able to fit their body in without modifying this door. So that's a manufacturing problem. So let's take it out and see what it does. What I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna have to get a file, which you shouldn't have to do that, but if you look here where they stamped this, they bent it out just a hair. So just that little bit, that's not the only thing, but that's the major problem I won't fit in, because this should just slide right in. So they need to take a little off the edge of their mortise body because it's not to spec. So because it's not to spec, I got to put extra work in now, and I have to file the door down on the sides here to make this fit. So that's one negative. So let me go get a file and we'll pick right back up. All right, so I've got the file here. Basically what we're needing to do is this face piece needs to be able to slide right in there, and you can tell it kind of does, but kind of doesn't, right? So that's not going to work. So I'm going to come over here, flat file. I have to go all the way down like this. Then all the way back. Let me see if that fits now. Better. But if I wanted to put it in, yeah, it's just for some of these spots where they did the little punches, it bends out just a hair more. So it's not much more, I'm almost done. So it's not bad. If they were just to maybe shave off a 1/16 of an inch total around the diameter of that piece, it'd probably work better. And also if they can get it where it's not over punching and bending that metal out, I'd say that's an easy fix though. In manufacturing, it should be. You would think it would be. But let's see here. Still, there we go. So if I'm right in here and here, I got to do more work still. Okay. I should do it. Trying to fight off the rain here as well. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Wait, hold on. Still a hair there. Actually, here and there. It's from those 2 punches where they over punched it on the machine. All right, let's try that. All right. Now, it's in there. Still a little tight there, but not bad. And that I can probably make work. Problem is you need the cover plate on it as well, and it's gonna stick out if that's not in. So, that's why the details are so important. It doesn't help that the door wants to move every time I do something. There we go. All right. One more. Okay. Now, one last time. That go in there. Perfect. Cool. It's in. All right. Let me get my long screws and see if I can get this to go in. First thing is mounting the mortise body. There we go. Grab the other screw. Just trying to get it to grab that hole. There we go. I think I got it. Come on, buddy. There it goes. All right, so that's in. And that's in. Cool. All right, so the mortise body's in. Let's see what the next step says to do here. Install the interior spindle. Okay, insert the spindle transmission shaft through the trapezoidal hole of the transmission toggler, picture 3. So, what they're talking about, because it says, find the trapezoidal hole, which is there in the thing, and spindle shaft, picture 2. Okay, transmission, okay. Insert the spindle transmission shaft through the trapezoidal hole of the transmission toggler. Here it is. Okay. So it tells you the spindle transmission shaft, which is this. And it has an L on one side and R, probably for left-handed, right-handed. So, let's see. Insert the spindle transmission shaft through the trapezoidal hole of the transmission toggler, picture 3. Okay, well, what side of the door do you put this on? So, on this side, I mean. So if I put it through here, Okay, it just sticks out. So left, and speaking of this, this is a left-handed door. So if this is an L I have here, it's not very clear in these instructions. I'm already getting confused. Insert the spindle transmission shaft through the trapezoidal hole of the transmission toggler. Okay, on the inside or outside the door. Doesn't tell you that. And doesn't show you that because you can't tell what's inside and outside the door. Install the interior pad of the spindle transmission shaft. Interior pad on the spindle transmission shaft. Spindle tab, install the interior pad on the spindle transmission shaft and then twist the knob to retract the bolt back, 4 and 5, so right here. Okay, install the interior pad. I guess they're calling the pad the whole knob. Okay. And then twist the knob. All right, so the interior pad, which would be the one without the keyhole, right? This would be the interior, I'm assuming. I can tell you right now, the instructions are not very clear. They're very confusing, I'll put it that way. So I'm guessing this is the interior pad here. Okay, just making sure that's all lined up right. Okay, so that's lined up right. I don't get what it means to this. Insert the hole of the transmission toggler. So if this is going to interact with the, looks like it's going to interact with the outside now that I'm looking at this. Well, it has a trapezoidal on the outside and a square on the inside. So it comes with these kind of things here, which I'm trying to figure out what they're for right now. Interior pad. This doesn't look like a pad to me. It doesn't even say if it's a pad, but in picture 4, where it says install the interior pad of the spindle transmission shaft and then twist the knob to retract the bolt back, pictures 4 and 5, that's showing this. So somehow this has to interact with this piece that it was told me to put in, which so I'm assuming it goes on the inside of the door. Don't know. I don't know if it goes in spring first or not either, because it doesn't say that either. So very bad instructions so far. So if I put it on this side, the thing is this is not trapezoid, so it doesn't fit that shape. I don't even understand why it, okay, oh, it kind of is. Okay, it kind of is, never mind. Okay, so this has to go in, I know it has to go in this way because of the shape. I just don't know if it needs to go on the outside or inside, but I'm assuming on the inside because we're dealing with the inside piece right now. So not clear, but trying to use some common sense. Okay, so here we go. They wanted this on there somehow. So I don't know why this is all so crooked. Because you would think this would be straight up. Okay, Easilok here goes down. So that goes down. So it's supposed to go around that. Oh, this is the mortise cylinder. Okay, just bear with me over here real quick. Okay. These are 2 washers that came with it. I'm just putting them back on. So it wants me to install the interior pad on the spindle transmission shaft, then twist the knob to retract the bolt back. All right. And this is showing the whole piece or what? I guess the whole piece. So this should go down. It should be like that then. Okay, so let's get this over that shaft piece. Oh, I see what it's saying. Okay. Oh, well, what's the point of that? It literally says install the interior pad on the spindle transmission shaft and then twist the knob to retract the bolt back. Once you have confirmed that the bolt didn't get thrown out, next take off the faceplate by loosening the screws. Very, very bad instructions. I'm sorry, bear with me here. Once you have confirmed that install the interior pad, which is this, on the spindle transmission shaft, then twist the knob to retract the bolt back. The bolt's not thrown, so I don't know what you're talking about. But I throw the bolt back. Oh, where's this up and down thing? It's so confusing. All right. There. So if I put this over the shaft like they want, and then they say twist, well, it's not going to twist because it's not screwed in yet. So I don't know, I mean, what it's wanting me to do here, or what the point of this whole exercise is, because it doesn't say. And they've got so much in other languages on here that it blends out everything. Okay, so part 2. If the throw of the mortise is towards the left direction, please align the trapezoidal end of the spindle transmission shaft. If you're not a locksmith, this is going to be extremely hard to install, because this is extremely hard for me to understand. So, spindle end. Okay. So the spindle end. This is almost so bad that I'm just going to ignore the instructions and start doing it soon, because I can't follow what they're doing. And then it gives me this diagram here. Spindle transmission shaft. Pay attention to the trapezoidal hole and the insert. Okay. Left side communicator, right side communicator. It says, if the throw of the mortise is towards the left direction, please align the trapezoidal. If the throw of the mortise is to the left direction, no, it's to the right direction. Okay. And choose the mark R then. So if the throw of the mortise is towards the left direction, I don't know if you're supposed to be on the inside or outside the door and you do this either, so it's not telling you that. So there's a lot of room for problems because of unclear instructions in here. Okay, so after a little rain came by, we had to wait a minute. Also give me time to look up on here. They show a left-handed and right-handed, here, I'll show you right here. Oops. Left-handed, right-handed, right? The problem is if you know how to hand doors, it's telling you if it's left-handed, use the right. If it's right-handed, use what it says left. So it's being a little confusing there, because you're thinking, okay, it's a right-handed door, left-handed door, then I need to be following the L and R. Well, they decided to make it opposite. So if it's a left-handed door, you use the right-hand spindle. If it's a right-handed door, you use the left-hand spindle. And that's just asking for problems, in my opinion. So, but let's go ahead and keep going. So here we go. We have this piece here. From what it tells me, after looking at the pictures and putting everything together best I could, it shows you this on the inside here. So up and down, see? So up and down. And then you can see that that's going to be down with the down arrow. So you know that that goes on just like that. So now that I have that on, and that's the bottom, this is a left-handed door, so I need to use the right-handed side. And it shows upside down like this. Let's see. It shows in the picture that since it's a left-handed door, you're going to use the right. So they have this upside down there. You're going to see the right. So there's your R's right there. And the spring side goes in because the trapezoid has to fit inside that shape in the door. Which needs to fit just like that. So this is what I'm doing here. Okay. So let's see if we can, I don't know how we're going to tie this set screw onto this thing, but let's see what it says here next. For help finding the spindle transmission shaft in order to adjust the direction mark to L or R on the out pad. Okay. All right, installing the exterior pad. I haven't even installed an interior pad. What are you talking about? Well, it says it goes from install the interior pad on the spindle transmission shaft, and then it goes all the way down here to this piece here. So is that supposed to go on before this? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Let's just ignore the instructions for now since they're not that great. See if I can figure this out. So I know that has to go in there. The problem is I got to screw this in because it's a mortise cylinder. So I would start with this first if I were them to get it in. Hopefully their threading is good, because if it's not, it ain't gonna work very well. Wow, it's not even. Does this not even fit in there? Hold on a second here. This is very strange. hardware. Okay, good. Okay, good. It's going in now. All right, so I'm gonna do it tight, like you have nothing to grab onto to tighten this thing up. There we go, straight up and down. I'm assuming that's how you do it. And then there's that piece they wanted to go right in, which fits just like that. Yeah, okay. As long as I don't read the instructions, I'm good. All right, so 3. I'm not gonna put those in yet. I'm gonna tighten this set screw to make sure that piece doesn't come out. Okay, then I'm gonna install these 3 screws right here so the face stays on. I'm not going in the order of the instructions anymore. I've kind of given up on the instructions. But let's see if it's a good product at least. One thing I would fix for sure would be the fact that if it's left-handed, you're using a right-handed, and if it's right-handed, using a left-handed, that makes no sense. Especially when you deal with doors, you're dealing with handing of doors, and it's just adding confusion to the problem. And it's very hard to screw this in this angle underneath this bar too. There we go. All right, one more here. It's a unique product. Screw holding that line up now. Barely. Let me loosen all these up. Let it move a bit. There we go. All right. There we go. That's all it was. Loosen that up a bit. All right, so my inside's in. Tighten that up. And tighten that up. And then you lock it that way. Or you just leave it. Okay. All right. Should I keep going down here? Oh gosh, this looks very... What I really need to know is just where these crazy parts go, because I'll figure out the rest. Commutator adjuster. Insert commutator, whatever that is, adjuster into the trapezoidal hole on the transmission toggler. Okay. And then what for? Where does it say that? Next is very important. What is going on here, guys? I need to make this way too confusing. Spindle shaft. Installing the spindle transmission shaft. Isn't that what we already did? Yeah, we already did that. Okay, so if we're done with that, I don't get what the point of this is though. Align the trapezoidal hole with the transmission toggle. Okay, let's see. What do you mean align it with the hole? It's already sticking through. This makes no sense. Unless it was trying to get it adjusted. Unless they use that to help you get it in the position to put that in the first place. Maybe I'm ahead of that. I think so. I think they just use that to turn it back to the normal position. All right, I'm done with that. Here's the outside. Probably simplest thing is how am I gonna get this thing? I guess I can lock it in place and screw it in like a mortise. Okay, that's what I'll do. Lock it in place. I gotta get it around that trapezoidal piece right there too as well. So that's not the right direction. Sorry, here we go. And that's not letting me even go the right direction. All right, so keyhole's there. trapezoid shape is that way. See that right there? That's gonna fit into that spindle. So it has to go in like this. Problem is, how do you get this to screw in? Because okay, so I don't know how I'm supposed to get this in when I can't rotate it because it has that piece in there. This is very complicated. All right, let me see. So I mean, I could use this to turn it what I need to. All I'm trying to do is match the shape up with that. I can get that in there and get that to go with the shape. That's not the shape, that's not the problem. The problem is how do I screw it in? And because if it has to go around that shape, it's not gonna screw in. So, jeez, man. Twist the communicator adjuster. Align the trapezoidal hole for the transfer toggle and take out. What are you talking about? Because take communicator adjuster out along with the hole. Wait a second. Okay, so now they have that piece out. So is that piece inside supposed to come back out or what? Because now it's showing the spindle shaft again, and we're way down into way other steps now. So the piece that was supposed to go in back here is in there, but then it talks about using it later, it looks like. Picture 8. Okay. Then keep the end of the adjuster's triangle arrow in the same direction of the mortise. How do you get on the outside? How about start with that? Oh, wait a second. This is so confusing, man. I think that part was supposed to go on the outside. The first part they're talking about, I think they're talking about, okay, they're talking about the one with the keyhole first. So I'm supposed to do the outside first. Okay, so let me take that off. Take this off. These instructions are very complicated. And on top of it, they have all the, I'm guessing that's Mandarin or Chinese. All that's everywhere all over the page, and you have to quickly go and look and find out where you left off at. They need to make 2 separate sheets for one, because that's horrible the way that the layout is of those instructions. So now I got to figure this out again. Take that back off. So did you mean to put it on the outside of the door first? I'm guessing it did, because it didn't. It says, well, install the exterior pad. It says, yeah. So, okay, it did say exterior, so I put the wrong one and I put interior. That's my fault there. But it's because there's stuff everywhere in that sheet, and it's very easy to get lost. And some things they don't even mention. Getting this out is gonna, man. All right, so it said exterior first. So if we were doing the exterior first, then I'm gonna put this right back over here, the interior, and I'm gonna use the same concept they were saying on the outside. So it's a left-handed door, so use the right. Okay, so I'll put the right there in the trapezoid sheet. There. Okay, now does that fit around the shape? No, it's not gonna fit around the shape. Why would it fit around the shape? It makes no sense. Wait a second. Says right there like they wanted. There's the right that you said. Or is it this side? No, it's not that side. So there's the right that you wanted. Right. Lock it so it doesn't move. Okay. Where are the, let's see here. Okay, so this is supposed to adjust it the other side to what I need. So if this is supposed to go in like this, the problem is this doesn't fit in that way. So I don't know what it even means or why it's even doing it that way. And the picture it's showing you, it literally shows you that right there. And then it says snap that, which I did. And then it goes to show to put it in. What did they do? They took the spindle out then, or what? Align the mortise hole and insert the out pad. I don't get it because it shows you put this in here and do all this, and then it has the picture without it out it after that, like it doesn't belong. And then it goes over here to screwing it in without that in it. Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I'm gonna try to make my own sense of it then. Because this was, I don't even know if I can screw in this cylinder. Yeah, it's not gonna allow it to screw in. All right, maybe I'll screw this in first and then stick the thing through it. Since it's, one second here. If you're not a locksmith, don't buy this because you're not gonna get it installed unless you call a locksmith to install it. Because you're not gonna be able to do this yourself. Maybe if you watch my video and you're just extremely mechanically inclined, but it's gonna be a pain in the butt. All right, now does this have to, here's where I talk about using that tool, I guess, to throw the bolt. To make it. I'm aligning both the holes, I'm trying to at least. Trying to figure out what's the point of all this here. So nothing lines up on this side. Okay, so we went back and installed this and we didn't follow the instructions on it. We just had to figure it out. The instructions are just not, this has too many little parts go around, and they have one big sheet for everything in a bunch of different languages, and even instructions on a product that doesn't even come with it that's electronic. So my suggestion would be to redo the instructions correctly, one language on each side so it's simplified a little bit, and go back and clear up some of the details because the instructions are very bad. So we got it installed. Problem is on the inside, for instance, you can put it this way, or you can rotate this little sheath and put it on and it won't work the right way. And you can rotate it again. There's 3 different ways you can put this on. 2 of them it doesn't work right, 1 of them it does, and it doesn't mention that in instructions. We can find in instructions where it talks about exactly where to put this on. So we just had to twist it, try it that way, twist it again, try it that way, twist it again. Okay, that one works, and we locked it in. So it's not extremely complicated, but it's just, you never see these parts before. And the mortise body is not like a normal mortise body you have. So the instructions need to be on point because I've never seen this before. But unfortunately they're not. So online it has on the, where you buy their product, it says 3 unique features. A, B, and C. One is twist to lock your storefront lock keyless. Never have to give your keys away, right? So let's see if that works. Oops, it's locked, huh? Oh, inside one's locked, sorry. So twist to lock. Okay, so if you're leaving, you can just twist that and lock it, and now I can't get back in without a key on it, right? If I am on the inside, I can just unlock it. So one of the features it's talking about is the twist to lock when you're leaving. So an employee wants to leave, they just lock it and go, and they're good to go. The other feature, B, it says an anti-mislock button prevents any unintentional lockout, yet it still enables keys and the interior knob to work normally. So it's talking about the anti-mislock button down here on the outside. Real tiny button right there, see it? So I just put that right there. So I can activate that during the day. That way customers don't come in and grab it and turn it and lock my door and lock, things like that. Okay, so that one's done. Well, it also says with that, it says an anti-mislock button prevents any unintentional lockout, yet it still enables keys and the interior knob to work normally. Interior knob works normally, and even though it's locked, you can still use your keys. Okay, so mission accomplished on that one. C, also unique design dead button, works like a child safety lock. Always allows you to keep the door locked or unlocked status simply by pushing down the dead button. So it's a little button right here, slides back and forth. And if you don't have this thing spun the right direction, and these screw holes can line up 3 different ways. It won't work unless you have it lined up just the right way. And we couldn't tell of any way to determine that without just trial and error. So one is, if I lock this, child can't come and unlock can't come and throw the door or mess with it. Or I could lock it and then lock that button in place and they can't unlock the door. So all the functionality works good. The functionality is great. It's cool little features that they have. It's pretty unique. But it only works with their all secure or AI secure mortise bodies that are specially made to work with these. So instructions were a problem. The piece didn't fit in here, and getting this on was a problem. But once you get it all on, everything works great. Another issue we ran across right at the very end. You want to come over here and take a look on the other side? All right. So here comes the door, right? Boom, ain't gonna work. Most of the storefront glass doors have this on there. So this is gonna get in the way of that. So that is a problem. The only way I can see getting around that is by cutting a notch out of that, which it wouldn't be that bad, but you'd have to cut a notch out so it can slide into place. But you're not supposed to have to modify your frame and door in order to put a lock on. So if this was a double door, like our storefront glass door, which we can walk over there, I'll show you real quick. All right. If this was a double door, it'd probably work because there's no threshold here. There's nothing there to do it. So on double doors, it'll work. But on a single door, you have that little piece sticking out. So it won't work on that. So I guess the functionality works great, but now we need to break down the pros and cons and all that stuff. So why don't we take all this in, go inside, discuss the pros and cons, and then we'll wrap this video up. All right, so we got the Easilok, I think it was A5 installed on the storefront glass door. So now it's time to judge the product, give it a rating, and tell you what we think about it. So we did another review on another Easilok product, which was the deadbolt. That was great, that was awesome, right? So let me tell you what I did like about this one, and then I'll tell you what I didn't like about it. What I did like is the design. It's unique for one. It has cool features that nobody else has. So that's, of course, it fits a need, right? It seems to be made fairly well. It doesn't seem like the workmanship was there. It was above average. It wasn't like spectacular, but it was above average. The packaging looks great. The packaging looks really nice. But some of the negatives, let me think of any more positives real quick. I would say other than that, the functionality, the craftsmanship, the packaging, all that's great. Now, what was a problem was the instructions. It's almost like they have one giant sheet of instructions, both sides, with a bunch of languages on there. And it gets very confusing to see where's my steps at, and like nothing's bolded, you know, or highlighted off. They should color code this box and make things pop, you know. They just don't have everything black and white. It just blends your eyes out and you get really frustrating. So I would say, for one, they need to fix their instructions. For one, make it more visibly appealing so your eyes are going from spot to spot, right? And then also make it more specific. Put this on the outside of the door or the inside of the door, because sometimes it doesn't tell you that, and I had to guess a couple times. So the instructions, horrible instructions. So my opinion, instructions were very bad. The install, the install was actually a little complicated as well, because of the fact that, for one, the lock body wouldn't fit in the door. I had to file down the door to get it to fit it in. In manufacturing, they can quickly fix that. All they need to do is shave about 1/16 of an inch off, maybe each side of the body, and then we're good, right? Or that, and also when they're stamping and popping those things on, it doesn't bend the metal out, because some of those are bent out a little bit from being punched too hard. So that's craftsmanship though. So instructions are bad. A little bit of the craftsmanship was bad, just off per spec on the width of the body. And the other problem was, right when we got to the very end, the door wouldn't close. The body ran into the threshold. So on double doors, you don't have to worry about it. I'm trying to think of other doors right now. You're gonna have every other door, unless it's a double door, is gonna deal with that problem. So I don't know how engineering didn't pick up on that. They must not have tested it on just random doors that are actually out. They might have just had a door and put it on there and said it works fine. But you have to make sure it clears everything too. So it does not clear that inner threshold piece, which means I'd have to cut a square out. And if I didn't know that ahead of time, I'm kind of caught in the middle going, hey customer, I know I installed this. I know I promised you all this functionality, but I just realized I'm gonna have to cut out this part of your threshold to make it to work. Oh, is it gonna leave a gap there? Is there gonna be air and stuff? It won't be a gap because the door will butt up against it, but it'll look a little weird, you know? So that's kind of an issue. Using the features on it, that was fairly easy. Had no problem with it. The keys worked, everything worked fine. But the negatives would be the instructions. The body didn't fit in the door without modification, and also wouldn't close on a single door because of the little threshold that was there. So those are three big problems. I mean, not huge problems, but the instructions can be fixed pretty easily. The 1/16 of an inch off the side can be fixed fairly easily, but that threshold problem, that's there to stay. So without a complete redesign, that's not gonna fix. So, unfortunately, based off of the instructions and the fact that it hits on the threshold, I can't give this a very high rating because right now it wouldn't work. Technically, it doesn't work on that door with the single to the threshold, not without cutting out a piece on your frame. So that's kind of tough. So because of the instructions and because of having to file down the door and because it's running into the threshold, I'm gonna give this one 3 padlocks. Only because of that though, not because of the product not working. Product works, it works fine. It's just a pain in the butt to put on, and especially when the instructions aren't right and it's all cluttered with a bunch of stuff. So I'll send this over to Sherry. Sherry's gonna see this, so I know they probably want a good rating on it, but I'm just being honest. The lock works good. If you get a locksmith to install it, cool, he can worry about all that. So if you want it, you can say, hey locksmith, can you install this, and make him deal with all the problems. So technically it's not your problem at that point. So if you need this functionality, get it, it works. If you don't do it yourself though, if you're not a locksmith, don't try getting this yourself. This will make you pull your hair out if you have any. So I suggest you don't do this unless you know what you're doing. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and hopefully you can tell through it. We kind of got a little frustrated, you know, it's raining out there and his instructions aren't clear. I'm just, what's going on here, right? And once we figured it out, and I just had to see it, put my hands on it. But that was my experience that I had to rely on in order to fix that. So if you don't have any experience, this is gonna be a pain in the butt. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one.